Here it is.
Hey, we are QOTD, and you're watching the QOTD Thursday Big Show Weekly Championship. That's right. We are QOTD, and QOTD is the question of the day show, the game show that lets you be on the air, and you can join us on the air by recording your own video answers to our awesome daily questions. Hey, everybody. Hey, JJ. Hey, Trish.
Hello.
Hey, Reid. How are you guys all doing?
Awesome.
Yeah, did you guys record answers this week?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Well, hopefully a lot of our fans did it as well, because this is the part of the week where we take all the best answers, the things that people have voted for during the week, and then we play them off against each other. So we find the best fan answer recorded for this week's questions, and then we vote in the final round for the best of the best of the best, the QOTD of the week, I guess we could call it, maybe, perhaps. But so that's the way this game show works. So you can record, you can vote, and you can send stars on BeOnTheAir.com. Little buttons will pop up on the screen in time with the show, or you can just watch us on Twitch or YouTube like you're probably doing right now. But when we start talking about, click that button. If you don't see the button, you can click a link that's going to appear in the chat on YouTube, say, and that will open up a screen where you can vote, record, or send stars, as it were. So that's the way the game is played. And now we're going to go in. We've had 7 questions so far this week. Trish, tell me about the questions.
Well, this week's theme is Baby Got Back. We're going back to childhood, back in history, back on the runway, and into your new backyard.
Oh, I like it. All the back stuff and a good reference to music, which I like so much. Well, they're so exciting, but I want the deets. So
I know.
We should just,
Jump right
get
in.
that first question.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's hit it.
Well, our question for the week that we began with was, what's one skill you wished you learned when you were young? Tennis.
Too late now.
It's now. Too late. I don't have the back, I don't have the knees, I don't have the patience. But the problem was that I didn't even start with the patience. My mom actually was quite an accomplished tennis player, and she tried to teach me how. And I was like a miniature John McEnroe, and I used to just like throw such a fit when I didn't play well, which was all the time. And we didn't obviously have like an ump. Is that what you use in tennis, or is an ump or a ref?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, we didn't have that person. So I would just like march up to the net and throw my racket and ask my mom, like, what are you, blind? It wasn't out.
Oh my goodness, that would not fly at the country club.
No, but I wish I had stuck with it. I wish I would have listened to her.
Well, that's totally one of those skills that definitely pays to learn when you're young. Like things like golf are like that as well, because A, they're hard, and B, you got to do it. You got to practice for a really long time. And C, there's certain kinds of like muscle memories, or maybe like it's brain elasticity that's just easier when you're young, like languages, or maybe certain kinds of math and things like that. So yeah, I think tennis would be a good one. I played tennis as a kid, and I still play now. But I would go the language route, just because it's so hard to do now. And I tried to learn Italiano using Duolingo, and I could do it, but then I couldn't retain it, right? But meanwhile, other languages that I learned when I was young, I like, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I wish. I wish I had learned more languages, and some hard languages too, like, German, right? When I was young.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, you know what they say? I feel like it's never too late. I know my sister actually learned Italian, so... I mean, she's a little younger, but still, it's never too late. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see what skills they wish they had learned. So earlier, I do think there are some people who said languages, so let's see if they are in today's set.
Oh, no.
One skill I wish that I had learned while I was young was a foreign language. I can somewhat speak Spanish now, but I really wish I would have learned it when I was like 5, just learning to talk. I don't know when you learn to talk. So I was like totally fluent now. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Muy bueno.
A skill I wish I learned when I was younger. I think think that'd have to be financial literacy. I wish I would have had a credit card and been shown how to use one at a really young age, and all the sort of aspects that revolve around getting money.
That actually is a pretty good parenting, like advice thing that one could have done.
You know, I really wish I knew how to do my taxes. That would have been great to learn.
You have TurboTax.
Exactly. TurboTax.
$50.
Well, I really want to learn a French language because I think young children are able to learn languages at a faster rate. Thank you.
He's right.
True. Good point. Good point.
I learned a little French.
How to love myself.
The most important skill of all, Voff. You are so right.
Wish
Yes.
I would have played the guitar better. Like if I would have been young, I would have spent more time playing. And I would be able to approach the music in a different sense, in a way I've always imagined to.
I don't know, Smiley, if you were any...
But now, I just train to play using my ear.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, we have now heard the 6 top voted answers from during the week, and now it's your chance to vote for the best of the best. Whoever it is that you vote for will go to today's final. So across the bottom of your screen are 6 buttons corresponding to what you see on your screen, and click one of them to vote. If, for instance, you don't see those buttons, because maybe you're on YouTube or Twitch, there is a link in the chat that will enable you to vote. Click on that. Click the blue button. So these were all good answers.
Yes. No, I think we had a couple of people said languages, but we also had like very practical skills like taxes and financial literacy. And of course, loving yourself. I mean, can never go wrong there.
She elevated this whole conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, it's no longer just practical. It's also.
Yeah. No.
Stacking, that's good.
Financial literacy. I agree.
Yeah, that's the skill that pays. Get it? Yeah. No, I tried to learn French because I was climbing. I did some mountain climbing, and I was climbing in France, and people kept saying to me, "Très dangereux," and I didn't know what that meant, but I figured it out when I got to the top. It's like, very dangerous. Turn around.
How long did it take you to figure out that dangereux meant dangerous?
It took about 100 meters. Yeah.
Well, let's see. We're going to take you even further back with our next question. We talked about when we were younger and what we can learn. But what about if you were a baby, JJ? Last week, JJ talked about how he'd like to be a baby. But on a previous episode. If you were a celebrity kid, we wanted to know, who would you want your famous parents to be?
Oh, that is interesting, because people are pretty focused on celebrities these days, right?
Very much.
Right.
Yeah.
There must be something aspirational about it, something that we would like to be. And so inserting yourself into their family might be the best way.
Absolutely. And the connections you can make too. It's like pick whatever field you want to be in and you can probably find a way, depending on who your parents are.
It's hard not to think. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm just so excited. I'm going to go with the dream duo, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, they've kept it real. By the way, Martha Stewart, did you see her this month?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Sports Illustrated cover model, 81 years old. I mean, I wish we should all be doing it like her. Like she's clocked into something, and I'm here for it.
Talk about a storied life, right? You know, she built a business, she went to prison, she started her career again, and now she's a bathing suit model. Amazing. I love her.
Paid her dues. She did the time.
Yeah, and I like Snoop too, a lot. These are people who've like remained true to themselves. So that's a really good answer. That's a super answer. I was gonna like go with like some sports figure, but now I feel lame. Like I would like to be like one of the Manning kids, right? Because like everybody in that family had like amazing talent, and they went off to do incredible things, except for the guy who sells cars, you know. But the other guys, like some of the best athletes on the planet. I want to be one of those guys. So, you know, next generation Manning, that would be me, Gen 3.
Nice. Yeah, I think the athletes are definitely a good way to go. Although with Martha and Snoop, you can learn to cook and you can also learn how to bake.
Yeah, nice.
Nice, double meanings. Well, I think without further ado, I think we have some answers coming in from fans. So let's see if any of them are doing athletes, any of them are doing some famous rappers or reality hosts. So let's see. I'm excited to see the answers.
Who would I want my celebrity parents to be? Well, Joan Crawford. Kidding. No, I'd want my dad to be John Goodman, like Dan Connor era. You know, John Goodman, where he's just seems like really safe and secure, and like he probably gives the best hugs. And like if I'm the worst person on my softball team, he's still gonna cheer for me. Like he's so proud, and I'm the best person on the softball team. And for my mom, I would want Lady Gaga, because also supportive, but like I could come to her and be like, listen, Mom, I want to be a human cannonball as a career. And she would be like, okay. And she would buy me a cannon and like a glitter bodysuit and teach me how to like tape sparklers to my fingers or something, you know? I don't know how their marriage would work, but as parents, that would be the ultimate support system, I think.
This was wow.
If I were a nepotism baby, who would my parents be? Hopefully, if I was put into that life, my dad would be Joe Rogan. I don't even know who his wife is, but I want Joe Rogan to be my dad. Because we're going to get up some serious dumb things and just, I'm assuming we're going to shoot things, or I don't even know, jump out of planes, talk deep about things, talk about absolute rubbish. I think it'd be good fun. So I'm going for the Rogan family.
All right, Brendan Rogan.
Got a ring to it.
I choose Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart because I want to be a filmmaker, and you know I could choose Martin Scorsese or like Steven Spielberg, but I probably wouldn't get along with them. You know, we'd probably bicker. But Dwayne Johnson, I could chill with that guy. I could chill with Kevin Hart. Oh yeah, me and my grandparents. That'd be chill. That'd be chill.
I think it would be the fun of being Kevin Hart's kid is be to bicker with Kevin Hart.
Easy, because I think about this way too much. If I were a nepotism baby, my parents would be Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Because they are like such a powerhouse couple. They have unlimited money. And you could literally get into any entertainment industry you wanted to with those as your parents. Like, they produce music, movies, television, they have charities, like they do everything. And everyone knows them, and like they also seem really nice. So yeah, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Biel, so that I could be a movie star or a musician without really even having to be talented. I could just do it because my parents do it.
That is the reason to become a Nepo baby. Yeah, well said.
Shade there.
To be honest, I don't know what nepotism is, but I would love for Ariana Grande to be my mom.
That's it. You got it. That is what nepotism is, though.
Yeah.
My parents would be Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, without hesitation. You're basically guaranteed to be attractive unless you get that 1 in 100 chance that you're not, and it is what it is. But you could even be in Marvel movies at some point. You get cool parents. You're not going to be named North or Chicago. So how could you not pick these two?
Or would you? They might just do it just to be mean, right? Well, guys, it's time to vote. Is it going to be Lady Gaga and John Goodman? All right. That's what Brittany says. Or maybe Brendan Rogan. Chris, Dwayne Johnson, and Kevin Hart would be his parents. Aaron says Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Becca wants Ariana Grande to be her mom. And Hector is thinking maybe Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively. That would be the awesome parental combination, guaranteeing you kind of like the ultimate, like a DNA combination. But so whichever of these guys that you agree with or that amused you or inspired you, click on the blue button, vote for one of them, send them to the finals so they have a chance to be the best of the best. QOTD Fan Answer of the Week.
Yes, a very good mix. I think we're pulling from a lot of different areas. A lot of actors, though. That's one thing I did notice. So.
Yeah. And nobody said any royal family members. Nobody said Prime Minister so-and-so or President so-and-so. Aaron
Justin and Jessica.
Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Yeah, good choices.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
you don't
choices.
want to be a prime minister's offspring. Like, you don't want to be in politics or royal family stuff. It's too much drama. You can watch The Crown. Like, you know, and you can know them. You can be their friends. But you want to be in Hollywood. Living it up.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Guess so.
Well, hey guys, speaking of awesome parents, that leads us into our next question. We wanted to know this week, what's one thing that your parents taught you that you'll definitely pass down to your own kids?
Oh, nice. Yeah, this was in honor of Mother's Day, which was on Sunday.
Yeah.
Definitely, mothers give a really good advice. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I know that my parents always give me a lot of advice, and especially my dad has a lot of advice to give me, which is ironic because this question is for Mother's Day. But I would say it's a lot of very small pieces of advice. He's a very big eco person, so it's a lot of stuff, especially around that. So just always being aware of how much plastic you're using, being aware of how much water you're using, just being aware of how much resources you take up. I think that's a very good way of just giving back in your own small way, not using more than you need to use. I think he's definitely a person who's big on that, and so I'm a person who's also big on that a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for me, my dad was it was like a kind of a career thing where he said to always associate with the best people and then just give it your all. That's all you really have to do in life, career-wise. I thought that was good.
Look who he's hanging out with, guys.
Exactly. JJ, Reid, and Trish are the best of the best of the best co-hosts.
This is exactly what your dad had in mind.
Yeah. Dad, if you're watching, I listened.
He did it.
I was going to say, he says to hang out with the best people. I was like, so what are you doing with us? Yeah. Well, I think we have some answers.
I'm sorry, JJ.
Oh, you're good. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that my parents actually, to go back to a previous question, did teach me financial literacy at a very early age. Don't get credit card debt. Don't take a car loan if you don't have to. So that was the one thing that I did pass on to my daughters as well.
Nice. Very practical. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans on this one. I think a good mix of the practical and kind of the more general things you can apply to life. So let's see what they have to say and what advice they've gotten from their parents.
One thing that my parents taught me that I will pass down to my kids is the joy that a home-cooked meal can bring you. The joy in your heart, the joy around the table. It's good times. So I think it's important to pass that tradition down.
Awesome.
Great answer.
Yeah, it's the simple things.
Yes.
What is one thing that your parents taught you that you will pass down to your kids? Geez, I'd probably say everything in moderation. They were pretty big on that one, and I would pass that down to my kids. Some things seem good up front. Maybe Shirley Temples or playing a lot of video games or something like that. But they're not all good as long as you
they're good so long as you do them in moderation. Again, whether they seem good on face value or non-harmful at face value, it really depends how frequently you do it. And that can apply to anything. So, my parents taught me that, and I'll keep that one in my head.
Everything in moderation, especially moderation. That's what I say.
Oh, so one thing my parents taught me that I'll pass down to my kids. I mean, I'm probably going to pass everything down because that's just how it works, right? But I guess manners. My mom was a big manners person. Like, don't put your elbows on the table. She's big about not passing gas in front of people. Close the door when you're using the bathroom. These are things that need to be taught to wild children, though, because I'm gonna do that to my kids for sure.
It's part of the way we show respect to one another. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Well, closing the bathroom door is that's just, you got to do it.
I think
Period.
one main thing that I will pass on to my kids is the wise words of wisdom that they gave us, or the little speeches that they would tell us and their stories to pass on. I think that's what I would pass on to my kids, because it's personal life stories that they could use in their lives.
So she likes the parable. I wanted to hear one.
And one thing my parents taught me that I'll pass on to my own kids is stand up for yourself. Use your voice. Find your voice. Stand up for who you are. Let it be known. Let it be loud. Let it be proud. Be you 100%. Don't let anyone stifle you or feel like you can't say what you want to say or be who you want to be. Be yourself. Be authentic and do whatever you need to do to be happy in this world. Live for you.
That's tough advice to follow, but so true, right?
Yes. So one of the rules of my family, my extended family, is always do what you say you're going to do. And that is a super important thing with me. I mean, I hate flaky people. But yeah, you got to abide by that rule, and my kids will be abiding by that too. There's nothing I detest more than someone who says they're going to do something and makes a promise and then does not. If you can't do it, do not make that promise.
I think that's a double-edged sword.
What?
Yeah.
Well, it's time to vote, guys, and I promise you that I'll be voting as well. Are we going to talk about home-cooked meals, right? Or maybe Hawkeye says everything in moderation. Ilsa the Joe, she's big on manners, right? That's something she's going to teach her kids. And then Panzer Saturn says, hey, look, be authentic, be yourself, stand up for yourself in this world. And Beatrice is if you say you're going to do something, do it, right? You got to come through. Don't be flaky. Which one of these people do you agree with? Let's go click on some blue buttons, which are across the bottom of your screen, and send them to the finals. If you don't see blue buttons on the bottom of your screen, go over to BeOnTheAir.com. There's a link in the chat that will send you right over, and you can immediately vote for one of these guys. It's free. There's no registration. It's just a button.
Yeah. And I think Beatrice's answer, definitely a double-edged sword, because it's you hold other people to that standard, you have to hold yourself to that standard too. But good advice, though.
Yeah. The people have spoken.
Be true to you.
They like his strength and authenticity.
I like that answer too.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
No, it's...
Well, we're going to move a little bit forward, fashion forward from here, but actually we're going back. We wanted to know what fashion trend from the past you wish would come back in style. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the answer is Swatch watches.
Those are the ones where you pop the face out, right? and put it in a
they came
different.
in a million different designs. They were like cheesy plastic looking things, but they were super colorful, bright, very 90s, like super bright. Everyone in the club was sporting a Swatch watch. They were the fashion accessory of the early 90s. And I just thought that they were fun and colorful, and you could trade with your friends when you got bored with yours. That's my choice.
It's going to be the Tamagotchi of watches. You just like a little plaything, right?
Wow. Innovative.
Yeah, I gotta go with, you know what I think would be fun to come back? Walking sticks. Actually, no, I'm gonna take that back. I think gloves as like a fashion item where people would put on their gloves before they would go out. Just like, I think that like everybody would be a lot healthier if they weren't like touching things out in the world, and then when they come home, you know, you're touching your eyes, your mouth and stuff, and then getting sick because you would go out into the world with your gloves, and then when you came in, you would take your gloves off and deposit them like with your keys in the little key jar. And I think that that is just kind of a more sanitary way of living, right? We could still shake hands. We're just not going to touch skin.
I mean, look, Michael Jackson nor Madonna ever got COVID, right?
Exactly. They wore gloves. Even with that little mesh glove, it was worked. You could even have your fingers out, like Madonna.
Exactly. Yeah. If you go into like New York City and you're riding the subway, you will never have to worry about getting anything just from touching a surface.
How can you hold on to those little poles? Remember back, well, you guys remember, but there used to be straps, leather straps that you would hang on to. Disgusting.
But they showed off your Swatch watch.
Yeah, that made it worth it.
Exactly. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see if they agree with us about gloves and swatches, or if they have their own little fashion items they want to come back. I'll base my wardrobe on this.
I would totally like to see Regency era ball gowns and tuxes and tails come back. I think it would be awesome. And I just want to see them walking around town down here in Princeton and getting in and out of their VWs.
Yeah, right. With your bustle, trying to get into the backseat of a VW.
Fashion trend that I would like to see come back around and take the world by storm would be bow ties.
Something like that.
Exactly. Little polka dots.
So I'm not the most stylish person there ever was, clearly, but if anything could come back, I would really wish bell bottoms to come back.
Christina, give yourself some credit. Bell bottoms is a great answer.
You know, not that I think this is fully gone, but I think Crocs are on the way for a big comeback, and I think they're due for it. I think that Crocs in the early 2000s was maybe one of the best fashion trends ever. And I really hope that we see him come back soon in the 2020s.
Have you seen the Crocs?
Totally approve.
So I think these are already making a comeback, but anything high-waisted, skirts, pants, shorts, literally anything with tight tops. That is such a good look.
Such as a Regency era ball gown. So you and pair, right? Or a pair.
The trend I wish that would come back from the past was my favorite was Heelys. I used to love Heelys when I was a kid. Every day I used to ride my Heelys from home. I used to fall a lot though. I used to get a lot of injuries, but I wish the Heelys come back.
Transportation you can wear.
Brilliant.
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
Truly.
Well, guys, time to vote now. There are blue buttons across the bottom of your screen. Let's send one of these delightful people to the finals by mashing the blue button on the bottom of your screen. If you don't see those blue buttons, maybe you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, there's a link in the chat that you can click that will open up the blue button screen, and then you can vote. So let's hear from you. Who did you like? Regency era ball gowns per pair, Craig's bow ties, Christina says bell bottoms, yes. Quinn, Crocs, it's time for them to make a resurgence. Hervé says anything high-waisted with like a tight top would be pretty awesome. And then Demetrius, oh my gosh, Heelys. I remember Heelys. I found them terrifying when my kids were wearing Heelys. Don't do that. Or maybe do that. Let's hear what you have to say, guys. Let's go ahead and vote.
Yes, I know. For the on the Crocs end, those are very versatile, and they do have Croc heels, so very fashionable.
Oh goodness!
Yeah. I mean, I've worn them gardening, and I like that you could just hose them off. That was pretty good. And I know doctors, nurses.
You leave.
Fun and dangerous. Going back to our parents' advice question, new.
Yeah, no. I had one of my friends who wore Heelys one time and like heelied down a very steep hill. Let's just say it didn't end quite well. Not terrible, but there were some cuts that were very intense.
Wow.
And the scars last forever, the mental ones.
Well, we are going from our trip down the runway to a trip of a different kind, sort of. We asked our fans, should doctors be allowed to prescribe psychedelics for mental health?
That was a great transition, I gotta say.
Question. Yeah. I mean, obviously, this has been in the news a lot recently because there have been recent studies that have shown that it's particularly helpful with things like post-traumatic stress. I guess people take small doses of psilocybin and it creates new neural pathways and cures their depression and anxiety and obsessions and things like that. And so there's examples of these kind of traditional medicines being used in a more modern context. And I think that's interesting. But then on the other side of this argument is the fact that, look, there's a tremendous amount of drug abuse going on right now. I mean, in many ways, more so than ever before. People have a lot of, issues and concerns coming out of this kind of post-pandemic world. And there's just like a lot of like drug use, particularly anyway, it's bad. So is it going to be good or bad? Are we going to encourage drug use or encourage good drug use? But I also keep in mind that the question is with a doctor's, say, supervision.
They used to give you like meth every time you had a cold, so I feel like this is fine.
It wasn't exactly meth, but yes, back in the day, they like people prescribed opium for like everything. Back in the cowboy days.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, well, I think we have some answers from fans coming in, so let's see what they have to say about this very big hot button issue. Let's see if they have the same logic where if other drugs are okay, why not psychedelics? We'll see.
Should doctors be allowed to prescribe psychedelics for mental health? I assume that's like mushrooms and things. I don't know. I would say no on that one. There's plenty of other, I guess, programs out there for people that have mental health issues, and there's different ways to go about it at the moment. That I know everyone has a different way of, I guess, moving through those things, but I would say at the moment, no, we should stick with the traditional methods.
Though, in some ways, it's more traditional.
I think the doctors know what they're doing. Doctors should prescribe whatever medicine is needed, to help prevent mental health. It's a big issue going on in everybody's everyday life. So if they're going to provide the right medication, then go ahead and do what y'all got to do to help mental health, because it's very big.
Yeah, he says yeah. One and one.
Should doctors be allowed to prescribe psychedelics for mental health? First of all, what are psychedelics? I'm going to just go straight up no. That sounds too out there. It's probably one of those alternate things. I'm a traditional medicine fan myself, so I'm going to say no.
But everything was experimental at one time.
Aspirin. Somebody had to try it.
Should doctors be allowed to prescribe psychedelics for mental health? I believe they should be. Yeah, they should be allowed to prescribe it. However, I would not agree with using psychedelics to cure mental health, because I believe mental health should be something that someone should get over with a sober mind, not off of being high of drugs.
So you don't think there's any organic basis to mental illness?
Well, I believe that I'm not in the position to say anything about that substance or drug because I am not sure what it is. But if ever that it came to a point where a doctor prescribes it, I think that it should need a further evaluation and assessment to ensure that prescription to that patient is good and that it will be beneficial.
Okay, trust the doctors again.
Yes.
3 and 2. Nay.
Yes. Some doses of it have been meant to reduce depressive symptoms. So I believe it should be prescribed by doctors to patients, but the needs of the patients should be put into consideration before the prescription.
Was she a yay or a nay?
She was a yay.
She was a yay.
She was a yay. So, wow, now it really is up to the fans because we went 3, no thank you. This is kind of weird and experimental. And then 3 were like, hey, trust the doctors. If the doctors are saying this is the way to roll, then we should trust them because they're the pros. So guess it's up to you, audience. Let's vote for one of these guys. Patrick says no. J. Ross says trust the doctors. Brendan says no. Mishak says no. Emmanuel says, yeah, trust the doctors. And Veronica says, yeah, trust the doctors. You know, but everybody was qualified of saying with the doctor's supervision. We didn't have any like, yeah, man, whatever. None of that. So guys, it's time to vote. Let's send one of these people to the final round. Who do you agree with? Do we think that psychedelics could be available under prescription from a qualified medical professional, or like, hey, let's not encourage this kind of thing? You know, but I do think that it's different in many ways than other drugs. Like for most drugs, you know, you take it and then over time you just kind of get better. But with something like a psychedelic, I guess you're going to go through a journey and learn things, and then you come out the other side sort of new and fresh. The only thing that's sort of like it is chemotherapy, right? Mm-hmm. Over many months, they just sort of destroy your body. Mm-hmm. And then you come back. So Mishak, yay.
Nice.
Mishak said no. You don't need this kind of thing.
Okay.
All right. No.
Well, we were talking about
shaman.
We were talking about the future of medicine, and now we'd like to take our fans to events of the past. We wanted to know if you could personally witness any moment in history, what would it be?
Yeah, there's so many moments out there, right? I mean, you could say sort of a general event like, oh, I would like to go see a gladiator fight. Or you might go like something very specific like, hey, I would like to be at the Sermon on the Mount, right? And find out like, what did he actually say? What was really going on? Or maybe you want to go and see when Alexander Graham Bell like talked through the telephone to his buddy for the very first time and said, yo, what's up with you? You know? So, but for me, I want to solve like history mysteries, like something that we don't really know about. Like we don't know how the Egyptians built the pyramids, right? And I would like to go and just like check it out, you know, maybe like hang out there for a week, you know, take some sketches and like be able to come back and say, yeah, they had this elaborate lever and pulley system, or like, yeah, the aliens were there. I don't know what the answer is going to be, but I would like to solve a mystery like the pyramids and like bring that knowledge to modern times. Appreciate the past a little bit more. The genius of the peoples of the past, I'm going to say.
Right.
Smart. I think I would also say like the Library of Alexandria. Speaking of knowledge, just trying to rescue as much knowledge from there as possible, knowing what happens. Spoiler alert, it doesn't exist for much longer. Just the amount of knowledge. And maybe, you know, you could find out how the Egyptians built the pyramids with like what system they used from the Library of Alexandria.
100% it's in there. 100%. I agree.
The things we lose to history. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans. So let's see if they agree with us about the pyramids and the Library of Alexandria, or if they have any other historical moments they would want to witness.
It would have to be a Beatles recording session, see how made their music, how they worked with each other, their workflow. It would be crazy to see them.
That would be jamming out. The White Album.
Given the opportunity to be a fly on the wall during any moment in history, I would choose the moment that LGBTQ marriage became legal in the United States.
Good news, you were there.
She wants to be on the steps.
If I could be a fly on the wall in any historical moment, I would be at the opening night of the original production of Les Mis in London. That would be where I wanted to be. I think that would make me die happy. I mean, the talent and the theatrics and just like the history of that, I think that would be really, really awesome.
What a unique answer.
Yeah, why live Les Mis when you can watch it?
Yeah.
If I was a fly on the wall, I would have watched Da Vinci plate the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, it's a similar answer. Somebody else was
I
talking
would
about.
be a fly on the wall during the Rubber Soul recording sessions with the Beatles. It's my favorite Beatles album, and I do believe that the Beatles are the most influential and important musicians in modern music, period.
All right, another vote for the Beatles. I'm a little surprised.
I will be in the Coliseum because I think it has a lot of history in the world and it's the most beautiful art ever.
Gladiator fights. Yeah. So we get a vote for one of these people is going to go to the final rounds. Luis and Spencer both say they want to go to a Beatles recording session and see how that all went down. Megan would like to be on the Capitol steps for the signing of legalization of gay marriage. And Sadie would like to go to the opening night of Les Mis. That would be pretty awesome. You got to wear something good. And Maddie would like to watch Leonardo da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa and just like be the witness to that magical moment. And Jimena says she wants to go to the Coliseum and watch some gladiator fights or something along those lines. She was into the art and architecture of the Coliseum, which I'm sure was amazing. I've been there, but it's a little beat up these days. I would love to see it in its glory as well. So let's vote for one of these guys. Who did you agree with? Who did you find inspiring and entertaining? Like, who made you go, So mash one of those blue buttons that are across the bottom of your screen. We'll send one of these guys to the final rounds. If you do not see buttons on the bottom of your screen, you can just click one of those links in the chat over there on YouTube or Twitch, and that'll send you to BeOnTheAir.com momentarily so that you can vote. You don't have to do anything. Register, just click a blue button.
Yeah, I think we got a good mix of historical moments from different time periods. So excited to see what wins.
Yeah. Votes. Now.
Coliseum.
Yeah, there was so much going on at the Coliseum. It was like every day. It could be horse races or chariot races or gladiator fights, or they had religious processions, or they had they would like fill the whole thing with water and have like boat fights. It's like it was an incredible. Yeah, I know. And just the general mechanics of how they would put on a show. They had like elevators and things like that. It must have been amazing. And to think about it, we're talking about more than 2,000 years ago, right? Or whatever, about 2,000 years ago. And they would pack the stadium, and I think it held 70 or 80,000 people. Like there weren't 78 or 80,000 people like in New Jersey at that time.
No, and even now, like there are some towns and cities that are like 20,000. So that's like 4 towns, a couple cities. It's wild. It's wild. Well, I think we have come to the last question for the week. You know, we've gone to the past, we've gone to the future, we've taken the past into the future, but now I think we can focus on settling down in a home, you know, someone's house. But that question is, what would be in your dream home? The question is, what qualities are you looking for in a dream home?
This is something that people like spend a fair amount of time just like imagining. It's a good one.
Yeah. No, I think I've thought about it a little bit. I think I'm one of the people who would want to go I think I would want to go like not too big in terms of size. I think the perfect one would be like a penthouse apartment in the city with lots of access to different areas, but like not more space than I need, not more amenities than I need. I don't think I need like the indoor actually a little indoor movie theater, but not like a huge tennis court, not like a huge backyard, just like some of the smaller fancy things like a hot tub and a movie theater would be just fine by me. Just a movie theater.
I am jonesing for a hot tub. I got to tell you the truth. I really want one. But, you know, for me, it would be totally different. Like, yeah, I got to have a garden because that's my thing. But what I really want is a ghost. Like, I think that like the ghost says it all. You get like history of the house, and there's like a vibe in the house that says, you know, people lived here and you can also live here. You are welcome. I mean, a friendly ghost, obviously. Not the bad kind.
It's not the size that matters. It's the ghost. It needs a spirit.
Yeah, spirit. I want to have kind of a welcoming spirit in my home, and I do.
Uh-oh. Wow. That is very.
You're living the dream.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't have a hot tub though, so that sucks.
Hot tub or ghost? You have to choose. Well, I think we have some answers coming in from fans, so let's see what they have to say, what qualities they look for in a dream home. Spoiler, I think a lot of people have their dream homes planned out completely, so let's see what they have to say on this.
Now, my dream home qualities are pretty basic, but I do find them quite luxurious. First off, I would only have bidets. Secondly, I do a basketball court and a tennis court. Then I'd also do a pool and a sauna, but I'd have these indoors with a big window. That way you can look outside and have a great view. I'd also have a chauffeur just because I don't want to have to drive around everywhere. And I'd also have a movie theater with a home gym, of course. And finally, I think I'd do a secret man cave. Instead of a hiding hole like in the movies, I would just have a man cave.
Wow. Wonderland.
Perfect.
I really don't care too much about a dream home. I don't know. I'm more about location. I guess my dream home is at a beach. I'm a beach boy. That'd be a good time. But I don't really care about like the actual structure of it. If we just take any house, plant that thing on a beach, I'm good.
You know, that's what the realtors say, location, location, location.
In a dream home, I imagine that there would be a big kitchen, big counter space, a big garage that can fit many, many cars, and lots of rooms for all the people that want to stay over to stay.
Play space and pals. He's gonna have fun.
Okay, my dream home. Qualities in my dream home would have to be indoor pool, indoor gym, pretty much indoor everything because I don't want to be outside if it's hot. Or actually, I would have an indoor basketball court also. Indoor theater because you got to get your movies on, you know what I'm saying? And also, I would have walk-in refrigerator.
Wow.
That would be
indoor
good.
Everything. Indoor gym especially is very smart.
Okay, so I have a few. So first of all, I want my house to be lavender. I love the color lavender. So if it's not already lavender, I'm going to paint it lavender. All the walls are going to be painted lavender. Another quality I look for is having a loft bed, like not like one of the already made loft beds. If you know what I'm talking about, like the loft beds where you walk up the stairs to get to your bedroom. And I also love Victorian houses, so it would have to be a Victorian house. Also would love for it to have a pool and have a fenced in yard so I can have lots of dogs.
Always leave space for the dogs.
Totally agree. Right from lavender to Lassie.
I look for a dream home. First, the interior has to be spacious, lots of space. Second, there needs to be many rooms. And third, it needs to have a fresh and clean feeling to it. And basically, that's all the qualities that I look for in a dream home.
Big and clean.
Perfect.
Hard to keep the big house clean, though. Watch out. Guys, it's time to vote. This is our final question. It's your last chance to vote before the finals. So mash the blue button. Is it going to be Michael, who wants to have a house with like bidet and ball courts? Chris is like, don't care. Put it on the beach and I'm down. Andrew's like, I just want lots of play space to put all my friends and toys. And Hector's like, I need the indoor fridge, man. I want to be indoors all the time. Becca, she says, paint the mother lavender. That's what she needs most of all. And he wants to have a big house with a clean, fresh look. Vote for one of these people. Let's send them to the finals. Click the blue button on the bottom of your screens and let's vote. If you don't see blue buttons, my friends, you can click the link that's in the chat, which will take you quickly over to BeOnTheAir.com for your opportunity to vote. You don't have to register. It's totally free. There's like no big deal, no download. It's just your place to vote, and then you will see your answers immediately on the air. Think about that.
Yeah. Paint that mother lavender. I love that sentence.
Hector, he got the indoor pool, the indoor fridge, the indoor basketball court, the indoor TV.
Hector, are you a vampire?
Totally. He only goes out to bring back his victims and make them swim and have fun. Well, that was pretty good. That was good answer. People think about that, right? People care about their houses. Except for Chris is like, I just want to surf, dude.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's definitely something to be said for either wanting to spend a lot of time in your house, or if you're all about living in the city or living by the beach, you're out and about, so the home is just a place you go back to sleep and occasionally cook. So I can totally understand location.
The city is your yard, or the beach is your swimming pool. I get that. That is a good point, JJ. Well, guys, right?
Yeah, let's get to the finals. No, let's get to the finals.
Let's do it. Wow.
Where are you going to live after the finals, though?
In my dreams. That's my dream home. It's just wherever I decide. Yeah, delusion. I live in delusion.
Well, just remember what people said. That's why you're not saying it, because if you say it, then you're going to have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we've gone through all the questions for this week. This question was today's question and the last one for the week, which means only one thing. It is time for the winners round.
Yes.
So we have all of our answers. We have all of our answers for this week, all of our top answers. And so now we are pitting them against each other in a final championship round to see who has the best of the best answer. So exciting.
Wit and knowledge battle royale, in a sense. Well, so the way that we're going to do this is we will go and play through your top answers, the ones that you voted as your favorites, quickly, just to remind us of who said what, and then we'll do a final vote, and that will be the champion. Who will win? Who indeed?
Yes. Well, I think we can get into the recap of the winning answers that you mentioned. Let's get into it.
A skill I wish I learned when I was younger. I think that'd have to be financial literacy. I wish I would have had a credit card and been shown how to use one at a really young age, and all the sort of aspects that revolve around getting money.
Wise, Devin's answering the question is, what's a skill that you would like to have learned when you were young?
The trend I wish that would come back from the past was my favorite was Heelys. I used to love Heelys when I was a kid. Every day I used to ride my Heelys from home. I used to fall a lot though. I used to get a lot of injuries, but I wish the Heelys come back.
And the opposite question, Demetrius is saying, what's a fashion trend from the past you would like?
One thing my parents taught me that I'll pass on to my own kids is stand up for yourself. Use your voice. Find your voice. Stand up for who you are. Let it be known. Let it be loud. Let it be proud. Be you 100%. Don't let anyone stifle you or feel like you can't say what you want to say or be who you want to be. Be yourself, be authentic, and do whatever you need to do to be happy in this world. Live for you.
Yeah. Panzer Saturn answering the question, what was that? Advice to your parents, right? Advice
Okay,
to your
my
parents.
dream home.
Oh.
Qualities in my dream home would have to be indoor pool, indoor gym, pretty much indoor everything because I don't want to be outside at the top.
Indoor garden.
Or actually, I would have an indoor basketball court also. Indoor theater because you got to get your movies on, you know what I'm saying? And also, I would have walk-in refrigerator.
Love that idea. I want that. I really do. That's such a great idea. You could throw a keg in there.
Should doctors be allowed to prescribe psychedelics for mental health? I believe they should be. Yeah, they should be allowed to prescribe it. However, I would not agree with using psychedelics to cure mental health because I believe mental health should be something that someone should get over with a sober mind, not off of being high of drugs.
Mishak's answer the question, do you think that psychedelics should be...
I will be in the Coliseum because I think it has a lot of history in the world and is the most beautiful art ever.
Jimenez is answering the question, if you could go back in time to any moment in history, where would you go?
Because I think about this way too much. If I were a nepotism baby, my parents would be Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Because they are like such a powerhouse couple. They have unlimited money. And you could literally get into any entertainment industry you wanted to with those as your parents. Like, they produce music, movies, television, they have charities, like they do everything. And everyone knows them and like they also seem really nice. So yeah, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Biel, so that I could be a movie star or a musician without really even having to be talented. I could just do it because my parents do it.
So Aaron is answering the question, if you could choose which celebrity parents you would be a Nepo baby of, who would you choose? And she's going with Timberlake and Biel. So guys, it's time to vote. We're going to vote for the winner of the entire championship now. There are blue buttons across the bottom of your screen. Click the one that corresponds to the answer that you found the most inspiring, informing, funny, whatever, the one that you agree with. Let's find out what you think is the best answer of the week. So now is a good time to click. If you're watching us on YouTube or Twitch, there is a link in the chat that will send you right on over here. So, you know, click.
Click.
Click like that.
Yeah, I think we have some really good answers this week. A lot of really good questions. I think this is going to be a very hard decision to make. Not envious of the viewers.
Because like I care passionately about a bunch of these. Both.
Oh, Panzer Saturn.
Oh, Panzer Saturn was a squeaker. So Panzer Saturn was like, what is some advice that you've gotten from your parents that you would like to pass on to your own kids? And he said, you got to carve your space in this world by asserting yourself and being authentic. You know, I think it's very interesting. I think that there's a lot of like implied strength and also implied honesty in that question. That is really solid advice. My kids are watching right now. Forget everything I said. Just listen to Panzer Saturn's mom. So that was a great week. But all good things must end. And so now we find ourselves at the beginning of a new week. So a little bit later today, we'll start posting the questions of the coming week, and you can answer them. There's a new question every day. Answer one Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday, one Monday, and you can answer any of those questions all during the week. And people will vote. They kind of play in a rotation during our 24-hour live game stream on BeOnTheAir.com, where you can vote and send stars and record. And then ultimately on Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m., which is 12:30 GMT, for those of you who think in a kind of a global way, that's when we're going to have the big show, and we'll find out whether or not your answer was the very best answer all. So any hints? Do we know what the question that's going to release today is?
I do. Well, first, we have a hint, kind of a general theme for next week's questions. And the theme is Z's. So we got zombies, we got Z's, we have zoos, and we have Zoom.
Interesting. Can we also take a nap for those kind of Z's?
Yeah, that was the Z's.
Yeah, I like that too. But
yeah. I think the next week's question is. Actually, wait, I'm going to quickly find it. I can find it in a second.
I know it.
Oh, you do?
Reid, do tell.
Go.
We're going to ask you, which celebrity would you want on your zombie apocalypse survival squad? Maybe the most important question we've ever asked.
There have been a lot of post-apocalyptic shows recently, and they show different celebrity skills that might be useful, right? Like you could be like a sniper, like on The Last of Us, right? Or maybe you're just going to just be tough as nails, right? Like those many other zombie shows. Or maybe you'll just be really funny, like on Zombieland, But so that's a super good question. I'm thinking about it. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I will say something. And I'm going to be one of those many fan answers that you will see on BeOnTheAir.com. Vote for me.
Do it. Well, I think we've.
Yeah, everybody, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody who voted and who sent stars, and particularly everybody who kind of put themselves out on the line by clicking the orange record button and recording their answer. I hope you like being on the air. It was a lot of fun having you. I appreciate you sharing a bit of yourselves. Reid, JJ, guys, thank you so much for working so hard this week and making this a great show. And Trish, wherever you are, you're the best. Thank you, too. So for everybody on BeOnTheAir.com and Consolidated Wonder, I say thank you very much, and I can't wait to see you on TV.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.